beautiful angel of the morning, you.
It's so good to see you.
You too, as always. Or I should say, as per usual.
As per usual, episode 313, palindrome today.
Ooh, I like it.
Feeling good. I'm so proud. I don't know why I've been reflecting so much on our show, but I am so proud of what we've created.
Me too, Suze.
I know that sounds kind of silly because why now?
It's
why
not
am I
silly.
thinking this? But I've noticed how the Brainiacs just keep getting better. They keep sending really great stories and, topic ideas. And like, we have the best listeners.
I love it. Yes,
They're
I
so
totally
nice.
agree. Snaps.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
What is that from? Snaps.
Legally Blonde.
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh. This is a perfect way to introduce one of the stories that I have for today.
Let's hear it.
Would you like to know about the history of the high five?
Yes.
Right?
Sarah.
I knew you would be into it. I'm so excited. Okay, so I was inspired by this when Landon and I were watching some commercial for something, and it was like going through all these facts or something like that, and they were like, history of the high five, invented by, or like the high five, invented by, and like named this baseball player real quick. And I was like, what, wait a sec, that's in color. Wait a sec, what, the high five? I thought that's been around for forever.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like blinking.
No, that's what I thought. When do you think the high five, like, you know how we can always go to the dictionary for like the history of? When do you think the Oxford English Dictionary started using the word high five?
Okay. It's got to be 1957.
That's so precise, which is so funny. No, 1980.
No way.
Can you believe that? Right? Isn't
No,
that
I
cool?
can't.
Okay, so there's two stories that are kind of like, people don't know which is which one to. But what do they call it? The conventional
story.
wisdom. Yeah, the conventional wisdom says that the high five originally occurred between a baseball player named Dusty Baker and Glenn Burke of the Los Angeles Dodgers
Shut
at
the
Dodger
fuck
Stadium
up.
in 1977. Okay, so it was like the last inning, the regular
is insane.
season. Yep. And it was Baker. Oh, and the story gets so much better. You're going to love this because, for like a bunch of reasons. So, okay, so it's like, so a journalist, I'm going to read you what a journalist said about the story. They said, it was a wild, triumphant moment and a good omen as the Dodgers headed to the playoffs. Burke, waiting on deck, thrust his hand enthusiastically over his head to greet his friend at the plate. Baker, not knowing what to do, smacked it. His hand was up in the air, he said, and he was arching his back. So I reached up and hit his hand. It seemed like a good thing to do.
No.
Isn't that funny? They just like described a high five, which like kind of made me laugh.
Yeah.
But this is the really interesting part of the story. So, Burke, this baseball player, he was traded around. He was really like young. The guy was like 25 when he was playing. He was traded around and ended up on a team where he had, he was gay. And he obviously couldn't be out about it. He was also a black man. So he's a black man, he's gay, and he ended up in a relationship with the son of either the manager or the coach or the owner of the baseball team.
Oh, Lord.
And they were like, no way. So he got traded down to like AAA ball and then ended up retiring in like when he was 27 from baseball. And he moved to San Francisco, and then the high five became like a gay culture, like a thing in gay culture, because he went around high-fiving, and that was like, it turned into, like, it says the high five was used with other gay residents of the Castro district. For what many, it became a symbol of gay pride and identification.
Shut up.
Isn't this cool?
Yes.
And apparently there's now in reading this article, I brushed over this, but there's an ESPN 30 for 30 film called The High Five where they talk about this. So now we have to watch that.
I am dying.
We have to watch that. I mean, amazing. And he said he was one of the first. Oh, I didn't know. After he retired, he was one of the first openly gay professional athletes. So then he came out. So isn't that cool?
I am so happy right now.
Yep. So I'm going to go with that.
You made my day.
Oh, yay. I was so excited. I've been like sitting on the story and like putting it together for like 2 weeks while you've been gone. I was inspired by the commercial, then looked at the history, then like did this. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait for me to come in with the history of the high five for Susie.
I can't believe that something that seems like just an innate human behavior, like laughing. You know how they try to figure out, like, is smiling a social construct or is it inborn in babies? It's like that, where I feel like the high five is so basic to human contact now that it seems crazy that someone actually thought, I'm going to hit his hand.
Right.
There was a moment.
Right. A moment where then, okay, so they also make sure in a few of these articles on like the high five, they talk about how, you know, there were other moments like where somebody hitting each other's hand has been like captured on, you know, film or on camera or something like that. But nobody ever titled it a high five. Like that's it. We didn't like label it, this is a high five. But I'm going to put, there's a great article in The Advocate, and it talks all about this, like about the, you know, the baseball player Burke. Yeah. And his whole, you know, story about, you know, being a gay baseball player and all this stuff. And it's so great. And so I'm going to add it to
just when you think the gays couldn't get any cooler, they do something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
I'm so happy right now.
It said he became known around the Castro as a neighborhood figure, and in 1982, he came out in Insider Sports, where Michael J. Smith called the high five a defiant symbol of gay pride. No, unfortunately, he passed away in 1995 from HIV.
Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so sad. In his obituary, it said the man who invented the high five at the end of his life could barely lift his arm.
I can't take it.
Oh, yeah.
This is too much. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I did not see this coming.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. I'm getting like, you know, warm, tingly feelings from making Susie excited about a story.
A really cool service, by the way, that will make you feel like you're getting like a high five as well, is something called Noom. And Noom is new to me. I hadn't heard of it. And it's
I don't know about this.
Okay, here's the scoop. Because I was going to say to you, have you ever heard of Noom?
No.
So it's basically an app that you can use that will help you make healthier choices and have a healthier lifestyle.
Well, where do I sign up?
Right, because, well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people will be inclined to use it for weight loss and things like that. But for me, it's just like perfect for a healthier lifestyle in general. Like you and I both suffer with self-care problems.
Yep.
Like I just won't eat.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is a great app if you would like some guidance on here's a better way to change your habit and have more success in your life. I went on and I took this little quiz, and if you put in like maybe your goal weight or whatever, and then it'll tell you a plan for you on what you can accomplish, and they'll give you a goal specialist to help you. I think a lot of people have bad habits that they might need help with, right?
Yep.
And then there's also a community that's there for you. You can have group discussions with other members, keep you encouraged. I think a lot of people that might be doing the food stuff really struggle with like tracking the food. And it's kind of agony I used to use an app for that, and it's really an unpleasant experience. So this is a better way to do it. Whatever healthy goals you want to set, Noom is designed for results. It's out with old habits, in with the new. Sign up for your trial today at Noom. That's Noom.com/braincandy. What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/braincandy to start your trial today. Again, that's Noom.com/braincandy. Start losing weight for good or whatever your goals happen to be.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm all about use it. You know how we always complain about technology? Well, if you're going to use it, which we all do, might as well be for like something that improves your life. Which reminds me, because I kept using the word like and during that last segment, and I want to encourage our listeners, instead of a swear jar for Linda, I am going to do a like jar. And I would like, unless I'm using it in the way that I just did.
Right.
But if I use it as like a verbal pause, like that, then I want you guys to count them up and tell me my total for the episode, and I will donate $1 for each time to charity.
Oh my God, this is great.
I cannot stand how often I say like, and I have to stop.
Oh my gosh, now I'm going to be aware of it for me.
Oh, it will make you crazy.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize how often you say it. And so I would like your help on holding me accountable for however long it takes. So just give me a total, whoever you are, tag me and say, Suze, you said it 20 times or whatever it is. I will make a check.
Right. Is it like starting now?
Now.
Okay. I think I just said it in that sentence. Oh my gosh. Now it's one of those things that's been planted in my head. I probably didn't use that as a verbal pause, and now I'm going to. Oh no. Oh, that's funny.
It's just a part of the lexicon to a degree that is alarming to me.
Yep.
And I need to get a handle on it. So I need your help.
Right. Call to action. I love it.
Call to action. So I finally read that article that I told you I was going to read about Shen Yun, the
Oh, yes.
Asian dance troupe that is ubiquitously promoted, at least here in LA. I never saw it in Pittsburgh, but out here it's everywhere. And it's supposed to be traditional Chinese dancing.
Yeah.
And the New Yorker did an article about it asking, are they a cult? And the too long don't read version of it is, basically.
What? No, tell me everything.
Well, as with any conversation about religion, it depends on your definition of a cult. But basically, it's Chinese propaganda, and they have this weird imagery of Karl Marx in the production and all these weird things about, I think it's authoritarianism, and
I'm shocked.
Bizarre. You thought the answer was going to be no?
Yeah, I don't know what. I shouldn't have thought that. But
you just thought it was a dance troupe.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm wondering do white people go to this?
Well, the reporter that wrote the story described the audience, and it was a lot of Asian folks. Mm-hmm. But, of course, you're going to have a variety. I think a lot of people just really like dance, so they might be inclined to go, and they probably like that cultural experience that they might think of for the Asian culture. But I don't know. I've never been drawn to it. I never thought, oh, yeah, I want to go to that.
So what elements of a cult does it embody?
Evidently they are funded by a religious organization whose name is not Shen Yun. It's maybe something else. And they're trying to promote their message of religiosity and, I guess, political authoritarianism under the guise of, hey, this is traditional dance, you should like it. But they have these weird people that get up in the beginning, and they're kind of like robots. They just say the same thing at every show and make it seem like it's just about dance when it's really about I just said it. It's really about, I don't know, imperialism or something. And the religion is tied to political, cultural, blah, blah, blah.
Is it all subliminal, or can you watch and absolutely tell that this is what's happening?
You can tell, but I think because their tradition is so unusual that a lot of people don't even know that that's what they're promoting. So,
man,
it's explicit, but when you don't know the context, it just sort of feels weird, and you think, oh, maybe this is because I'm not in this culture, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. And I wonder, so is it anything where they're asking for a donation, they're asking for some money, or is it just more like propaganda of ideas?
I think it's propaganda of ideas with the maybe ultimate aim of recruiting new members to the
new members, like to the religion.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Weird, right?
It is.
I mean,
it's like I just want my. Now I'm saying it. What's the end game?
That's what I was wondering. I think it's kind of like Scientology, where I think it's clear that the end game is just more money.
Okay, so it is fun. Yeah, it always goes down to
what I assume.
Money. Weird.
It's just strange that I wouldn't have heard of it by now, because usually all the cults, I'm pretty on top of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll have to look into it some more, but it's all very weird. Yeah, I wanted to give you a follow-up on that. Yeah. Also, you know how we have tips that we give?
Yes.
Maybe people are sick of it, but
I
wanted to encourage people to follow on Instagram an account called Lingerie Addict.
Oh, you know what's so funny? I was going to say this like 2 or 3 episodes ago because you inspired me to follow her, and I'm so glad I do. And I think it's really important that we recognize, people of color in different, just tell the people what it is first.
Yeah, the Lingerie Addict is a woman who, in the Instagram version, she models different beautiful lingerie pieces and talks about the history of lingerie as well as, ideas for how to wear it and what's beautiful and different brands. But also she has this message about body positivity, also sex positivity, and also encouraging women of color and promoting their projects. And that's something I really think is important. But the reason I followed her is because her images are so beautiful and she's so beautiful. I was like, I want to look at her more. And
Did you see her book?
I followed her. Yes.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And they're all hand-drawn illustrations of the lingerie and then the stories about it. It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
I should have gotten you that as a gift.
I was just thinking I need to get you that as a gift. Right? Because it's it's one of those things that you could display in your house, but also support something that's really cool and also pretty to look at. I
think from her, how they have in the Discover section, things based on who you follow and everything. And I think from her follow and some other ones I follow, I was looking at an article or something on Instagram that said, if you want representation in, or diversity in advertising and everything, then make sure you are liking pictures of people that don't look like you. Mm-hmm. To make sure that gets, recognition as well. And it's so important to do that.
She even said that in a post recently. She said, white women in particular should, be liking and commenting on and following women of color if you want to be sort of what they might say is intersectional or just walking the walk. So do that. Follow her. You won't be sorry. It's beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Yep. Love it.
I have to tell you about this article that I read about. In essence, it was about millennials and how they have this reputation as being, what would you say?
Millennials.
Being millennials, which Sarah's allowed to say because she is one. Mm-hmm. So she can be all snotty about it.
Yep.
I will say, though, first of all, before I tell you about that a good thing that you'll want, if you are following the Lingerie Addict or not, is a good bra. And
yes.
We know where to find one. Third Love. Mm-hmm. These bras are designed to fit you, whatever your size, whatever your body looks like. And they have more sizes than most other brands, over 70 sizes, including their signature half cup sizes. I don't know why this isn't more prevalent. And they have a perfect fit for everyone. You just go on their Fit Finder quiz and put in some info about your body, and they'll tell you what size you are. And that way you don't have to go in for those awkward in-store fittings. No, thank you. Mm-hmm. And they have a 100% fit guarantee. So you have 60 days. You can wear your bra, wash it, put it to the test. If you don't love it, return it, and they'll wash it and donate it to a woman in need. It's going to be the most comfortable bra you ever own. I will not wear any other bra. I'm not into bras, so when I have to wear one, I better be comfy. And they also have a new breathable cotton bra that you guys will love. Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone, so right now they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/brain for 15% off today. So the article about the millennials was talking about somebody who went to college, and actually, I suppose it really wasn't about millennials as much as it is about their parents and this trend of what you might call snowplow parenting. Have you heard this term?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So instead of being helicopters, they're snowplowing all the obstacles out of their kids' way, which became more talked about since this college cheating scandal.
Yep.
And they're talking about these parents who made your life so easy or make your life so easy that you don't know how to deal with obstacles when you're an adult. And
Absolutely, and it's awful.
Yeah, okay, so you noticed this problem.
Yes.
And one of the people that they talk about in the article is someone who went off to college who then went to the dormitory cafeteria and discovered that all the meals were covered in sauce, and they had been shielded from sauce their whole life because they don't like sauce and didn't know how to cope with the fact that the cafeteria meals had sauce on them and had to drop out of school.
Oh, God. This is, I dated a guy once who had a mother like this.
Okay.
And you know him, Susie. You also met him. And
oh, my God.
His mom was like a short order cook for him. It was
right.
Like, he was an only child, and if he didn't like something, as an adult, she would make a meal, and he would say, I don't really want that. And she would like make him something else. I'm like, this is insane. Yeah. And I just knew that it had started very young. And my mom always said to me, I'm not a short order cook. If you want that, you eat what I made, and
Absolutely.
that's it. And tough potatoes if you don't want to
tough
eat that.
Titties.
Like, yes. And, she always said, like, no child ever starves themselves. So that kid who's like, no, I'm not eating when they're 3.
Yeah.
There's no child, it goes against all they're doing is trying to make a point. No child is ever going to starve themselves. So if you're like, well, say, okay, then no dinner for you. In 20 minutes, they'll be back going, I'm hungry. You go, well, there you go. There's your food. And they will eventually eat it. And this whole thing of like, oh no, I'll just make you whatever you want. This is what happens. It is not a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
This is just a small example of how doing that with food can really be
the weird
so
thing
gross
though
to me.
Was someone was commenting on it on Twitter, and the guy said, well, you guys are being unfair to this person because sauce aversion is a real thing, and you're being ableist.
Oh, for Christ's sake. No, they're not.
So, you know how...
What, like your ability to eat sauce?
Then
Fuck
I
off.
don't know.
That's stupid.
Is there a thing where
No.
people...
The only thing I could think is if you are somewhere on the spectrum or you have OCD, but in that case, then you learn to cater to that. And the fact that then there's a failure of the parent, because say this child is like that and does not. The right thing to do as a parent would be to teach them how to be self-sufficient and like find for themselves meals that don't. I mean, what the heck? There are options. Cereal. I mean, what? Come on now.
I think you're right, though, that let's say you actually have OCD or something that does prohibit you from enjoying the texture of certain foods in a way that is typical. Yes. That your parent or doctor would most likely prepare you for here's how. So I can't imagine that that's what this is.
No, it's not. It's just a kid being...
You know those folks that order pizza and they get the sauce not on it because some kids hate pizza sauce? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that, but then it just carries on their whole life type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just everybody catering to the needs of the one versus the one adapting to the need. Like, I don't know. I just think it's not good. And
I just don't think you should drop out of school because of sauce.
No, I'm trying to think of what, so obviously there's more at play here, like you have to look at, what is it called? It's called, there's a name for it, like the transition into college. It's like, really, it's like a phase of life problem, but there is something that happens when these children launch, and if the parent and the child don't if the relationship doesn't evolve, then there can be so much anxiety for the child as they leave and transition that's really it. It's like and you look at a parent like this and it's like the parent's anxiety matched with the child's inability to feel confident in their own decisions and rely on the parent. And then, it just makes for ugh.
Well, you and I were talking about privately how the cheating scandal made me realize that by doing that, by being a snowplow parent, you're doing the same thing. Like the rich parents and the poor parents end up doing a similar thing. Remember how we were saying, like, being spoiled is almost like your parents don't believe in you. I'm missaying what we had said.
Right.
Because it wasn't about poor parents. It was about like, being spoiled and being neglected or something is basically the same, where on both end, it's like your parents don't believe in you. Mm-hmm. And that you can't do it on your own. I wish you could remember.
It's that you did a good job of paraphrasing like that.
But in essence, by spoiling your kid, you're actually saying you can't do it on your own. You can't get into the college on your own or whatever.
The same way if you were one of those critical parents who was like either, neglected their child or was verbally abusive, like you can't do it. You're sending the same message. You're not enough. You're telling the child. Yes, it's the neglect. Like you're not enough for my energy versus you're not enough to even be good enough on your own.
I do need to explore, though, what causes it, because I fight against it, but I have the same impulse with my son, where I am so paranoid about him getting hurt physically or emotionally that I really have to fight against my instinct to protect him from all of that.
You know what I go back to is the article that you had shared a long time ago about how the most important thing a child sees and the lesson that the child learns the most from is failure and our ability to overcome failure. So you tried it and then you still failed and got back up. The same way, you get hurt, you break your arm, you put a cast on and you get better and it's okay. And like, there can't be those big, you just almost like teach resilience.
It's a hard thing to do. I don't know why our generation struggles as parents to allow our kids to experience pain, but we do.
I think because we live in we're fear. I think it's a fear thing. And I think it's like any little bit of uncomfortability, we're taught to fight against or whatever it is. We're just like not comfortable with being even a tiny bit uncomfortable. And we need to be.
I have been thinking about that so much. When we were at that event and Flip, the ninja guy, teaches that, like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I think that is so applicable because for a while I think I was in survival mode as a human being and a parent as well. And I'm only now being like, no, I'm going to be uncomfortable and it's okay. And it'll actually make my life better. But you have to really be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Because my instinct is to be like, nope, I want to be comfortable. I want to be safe. I want to be whatever. Yeah. And I have to fight and be like, nope, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go surfing and it's going to suck and I'm going to fall, but it's okay because then you'll be glad you did it.
And it's just the idea. It's our anticipation and our overthinking of the the expected outcome. And then when you actually do it, and I think about this every time, really it's the challenge that taught me this.
Me too.
That I had no idea in a million years I would be able to survive standing in one place for hours in the middle of a glacier. And, I laughed the other day because Landon and I are doing this big road trip and we got a pass to do this really intense hike through the Narrows in Zion. And it's a beautiful hike, but it's really strenuous. It's like 12 or 16 miles or something. And, I have not been like working out or like training in a long time. Yeah. And with like the exception of like my 10-minute videos, but like not hike style. Yeah. And Land's like, okay, this is going to be like a real strenuous hike. And I look at him and I'm like, honey, I think I'm good. Met? Yeah. I'm like, I think even without any, like, anything is going to be easier. And I was like, do you think it'll be more difficult than climbing one of the toughest climbs in Norway after jumping out of a helicopter, paddling 10 miles through a glacier water and then having to spend all night sleeping on a wooden pallet? Do you think it'll be a little easier than that? Oh, I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was being so sweet. He's like, I'm just checking. I'm just making sure. But in my head, I'm just like, I'm a survivor, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're comfortable with being and there is no amount of, and if I am uncomfortable, I'm going to push through it, and then at the end, I'm going to be like, damn, look at how fun that was.
Yeah. And I was telling Adam, I said, when I would be on a challenge, I would be uncomfortable for 8 straight weeks or however long it was. Mm-hmm. And then what I'm trying to do now is take a touch of that and to put it in my real life, because you don't want to be uncomfortable all the time. Like a challenge, that is very difficult, and I'm in that state of survival the entire time. But if you can just do that for a minute in your real life or a day or whatever, then that is the sweet spot for me.
It's the same thing as all those like cliche sayings that people have of like, do every day, do something that scares you.
It's true though. Yes.
It's so true. You're basically building up resilience.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Yes.
That wasn't that scary. Whatever it is, maybe for you, it's climbing a mountain, but maybe for other people, it's saying hello to somebody you don't know.
Totally.
And everybody, it's different. And maybe you're great at saying hello to somebody you don't know, but you're not good at taking the first leap and being physically uncomfortable. Like people are uncomfortable and comfortable in different places. Maybe emotionally there, but not physically, vice versa. So yeah, that's great, man.
It's a good lesson.
It sure is. We should remember that. And
one place that I'm always comfortable, though, is in my bed. And that's because I have the best sheets ever. Brooklyn.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You spend a third of your life in sheets, and so you need a bedding upgrade. This is what I'm saying. If you want to feel like you're in a 5-star hotel, but you don't want to, break the bank, then you can try Brooklinen, because these sheets are so comfy and soft. You can get all different patterns, mix and match, and you're going to not want to get out of your bed. That's what I'm saying. It's the fastest growing bedding brand in the world. And they also have other things. They have pillows, towels, comforters, and I saw online they have a shower curtain now, which I did not know,
cool.
and I want to check out. Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Now it's your turn for the upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order and free shipping when you use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get 10% off your first order and free shipping is to use promo code BRAIN at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code BRAIN. Brooklinen, these are the best sheets ever.
I say hell yeah because Landon gave me the thumbs up to get some new colors and stuff for we went to a hotel and we're on really nice sheets and he's like, oh, I love white sheets and these feel so comfy. And I'm like, we can have this.
This is
like,
doable.
Yeah, let's get it. And then he's like, oh, I want a feather bed too. So I'm like in the mindset of like, oh, what am I going to get? I'm going to get like a nice new comforter and da-da-da-da. So.
And the thing is, when you do something like that, it's almost like renovating your whole room.
It totally
is.
Just getting sheets. I'm so excited. That's why I have to take a while to decide what colors I want. I put it in my shopping cart and then think for a week.
You're funny like that. Why do you always do that?
I don't know. Because it's half the fun for me is just planning it.
Yeah.
So I like doing that.
You're real cute.
Oh, thanks, Suze. You're also equally adorable.
So I have a mystery for you to solve, and I don't have the answer. You're just going to have to tell me your theory.
Okay,
I
great.
read this article about whiteout. And it was giving a little bit of the history of whiteout and how you remember the
invented
mythology.
by a secretary. Is that mythology? Is not true?
Well, it is. It's the secretary you mentioned, but her son was in the Monkees, Mike Nesmith.
Oh, that's funny.
And I always remember people saying that about him, and I thought that's probably one of those old, what do they call that, urban legends. Mm-hmm. But it's actually true, and that she became a millionaire because she came up with this idea.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and when you were growing up, did you use whiteout and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then they were saying how it's recently started to go up in sales, and they can't kind of figure out why.
Wait,
like, who's using whiteout? Yeah.
Okay. Mystery. Why is whiteout being... Now, is it specifically... Because here's the interesting thing. Now, are we talking about whiteout in... It's classic, like in the classic sense of like the little bottle with the brush.
Yes.
Okay, that's so freaking weird that those are going up. It's got to be used for something else because that's.
Yes.
I've gone away from that. I use the little roller.
Yeah, the pieces of
those
paper.
Things that
This is the liquid paper version with the brush.
Okay, there's definitely something else that this is being used for.
Yeah, what?
How do they not have any ideas or theories?
They said, some people think it's a certain kind of craft, maybe on Pinterest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we got to look on Pinterest and see what alternative uses for whiteout.
Do you think people are using it for that slime or something? That would be dumb. It would ruin everything.
Yeah, and there's too many chemicals that don't go with.
Some people think that people are just sniffing it.
That was my first guess.
Really?
Yep. That was my first instinct.
Okay.
Because it has all the same, like the chemical content is high enough to do that, but like the other things they keep track of, or they like limit how many you can buy of like the dust off and all that. My instinct was
Do you think that's really it?
Drug use or whatever, but I feel like I just got to Google whiteout.
The article that I read was in The Atlantic, but there was no conclusion, and that's why I'm like, well, I'll ask Sarah. She probably knows. You're in like that weird Pinterest sniffing subculture.
Sniffing subculture? No way.
Totally joking.
Get out of here. I just know about weird stuff like that.
I don't know, but they were talking about how the people at Whiteout are working on different labels and things so that the product is easier to put on Instagram. Kind of like they did with LaCroix, where it was a very Instagrammable product, and so it went up in sales. But come on, who's going to take a picture of Whiteout?
It's not that, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty convinced it's the huffing thing.
Dang. Do you think you could get high on whiteout?
Yep. When I Google, right here, whiteout and huffing, all these stories come up. It says inhalant abuse videos, whiteout, inhalant abuse prevention, Ohio early warning alert, National Inhalant Prevention Coalition, talking about whiteout, correctional fluid, and how some kids are like painting it on their nails, and then huffing can be deadly. Is your kid doing it? Yeah.
Do you think people are using it as nail polish and then sniffing it?
I guess it's maybe, I don't know. I think that really creeps me out.
Why?
The idea, just that huff is just one of the grossest things to me. I think when I was probably like 14 or 15, I saw the movie Gummo. Have you heard of that movie?
Never.
It's by the same director, producer, writer, whoever it was that did the movie Kids.
Okay.
Have you heard of that movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like really
dark.
Cult coming of age movie that's super dark and, but really realistic.
Yeah, insightful. And yeah.
Yes. And it's the same kind of story about a small town in the middle of who knows where people have like generations of huffing and like drug use. And all the people in the movie are actual children who are, have deformities or neurological, they took like real people and used them as actors for this and for some of the scenes. And I just remember those scenes being so difficult to look at. And it really grossed me out. And like this movie was so intense. I have this serious like reaction to that. It like really grosses me out.
It was too raw.
Yeah. Like I can't watch Intervention. It's like I get too scared, and I think, wow, what kind of place does a person have to be in to go to that kind of lengths to change their, like, you have to be in a lot of pain to put your body through that much pain to feel either numb or okay or like, how much pain do you have to be experiencing for that to make you feel better? It's like, ooh,
for that to be an
to me.
improvement.
Yes. And it like breaks my heart.
Some of the worst episodes of Intervention were with people that huff those air cans.
Yeah. Oh, and I just think
lose it.
It just makes me and it's so scary.
And their high on that stuff is only a couple minutes, and then they'll just keep sucking on that air, and it's almost like they're possessed.
I don't know. It makes me feel so weird inside.
What the heck does it do to their brain?
The worst stuff kills brain cells. Oh,
it really does. It kills brain cells.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's irreversible.
Yes.
Well, don't do that, kids.
A lot of it. Do not. Oh, my God. We should not be. It really scares me.
Wow. You don't usually react like that.
I know. This one is my... Ugh. Yeah.
Really?
Because that movie, I know it. It just, I watched it during an age where I was like,
Yeah.
you know, and oh my God, I was like that kid who was, I would have nightmares that, you know, I had this reoccurring dream that like, you know, I'm such a rule follower that when the DARE program came, I became like the basically like that, what's her name, Flick from Election. I became like Tracy Flick from Election. I became her for like DARE program. I was like, we are going to fight the drug. No drugs, no smoking. Cigarettes are killing you. And I would have this reoccurring nightmare where like everybody I knew and loved would one by one look at me and say, I'm sorry, and pick up a cigarette and start smoking. I'd be like, no. And it was like so sad. And so I was like so anti like all of that. I'm like, I don't know. So
and then
all
you
that
were
stuff.
Picking up doobies in no time.
Yeah, well, it was a long time. I was over 21, but the first time I smoked weed.
Did you feel super guilty though?
In England, no, I didn't for some reason.
Really? After all your spouting about DARE to keep kids off drugs?
Yeah, I don't know why. Because I don't know. I felt like, I'm in England. It's okay or something.
Damn it! Wow, you are a tough nut to crack.
Who knows? But yeah, oh my God, that first night I smoked weed, I was in England, and we were with some friends on a exchange program out there and living out there in Oxford and
living your best life.
Living my best life. And somebody offered me some, and then I didn't inhale, and they're like, no, you have to like breathe in. And then I did, and then like coughed everywhere. And then I got kicked out of a McDonald's for laughing too much.
Oh Lord, of course you did.
Because it was Easter time and they had a Cadbury McFlurry, and for some reason an egg inside, like they made it look like an egg. I could not stop laughing at I'm like, it's like an egg in the McFlurry.
You're the worst.
They're like, ma'am, you have to leave. But they probably miss at the time.
You have been kicked out of so many establishments.
Really?
Yeah, weren't you kicked out of a museum?
Oh, yep, for taking a picture.
And like maybe
we did
a library?
Go over this. Yep. Oh, I banned from the library for not returning my book.
See,
I don't know. I haven't gone back.
For being a rule follower, Sarah.
Right. True. I should just abandon that label.
Well, one thing you should not abandon is your Rothies.
Oh, never, ever. In fact, funny story, walking down the street the other day, I was wearing them and this other girl was wearing them, and she was like in the middle of the conversation, but this is a total stranger. And I was like, hey, good taste in shoes. But then she didn't hear me. And then I was like, okay, good talk. And just kept walking. But I really wanted to connect on our Rothy shoes because we were wearing the exact same red ones. And when I see them in public, it feels like I've like met a member of like, I don't know, a tribe
society
that I didn't know I belonged to. Yes. I got real excited.
Rothy's are the most loved, gotta have them shoes. And they are stylish, sustainable, comfortable, washable. Think about this. I wore them the entire time I was in Hawaii and washed them while we were there. You can just wash them in the sink if you want. They cleaned up perfectly. White shoes. Did you see the red dirt that I was walking on?
You walked in that red dirt with your white Rothies and they were fine.
Yes. Not on the day of that picture, but I did. Because then you just wash them and they cleaned up perfectly.
Yes.
They are the perfect shoe for life on the go. They have different styles too, so you can get like a dressier version if you're going to be going to work, or you can get the sneakers like I have, and they are just perfect for every day. It will blow in your mind that they are made from recycled plastic water bottles. Sarah was just talking about that. And they've saved over 25 million water bottles from landfills, which is awesome.
Amazing.
Right now, Rothy's has an amazing deal for our listeners. Use code BRAINCANDY to get free shipping with no minimum, free shipping and free returns and exchanges on your Rothy's shoe. And trust me, you won't return them. Go to rothys.com, ROTHYS.com, and enter BRAINCANDY to get your new favorite flats and free shipping once you try shoes that are comfortable, stylish, and sustainable. You're never going to wear anything else. Head to rothys.com and claim this offer with code BRAINCANDY.
So you had told me about a mystery that we hadn't solved with the whiteout, but I have a story for you about a mystery that they did solve.
Yes.
So this one is so random. I found a bunch of really interesting articles on BBC the other week, and just like one of those, this article led to this article and this article. And I was looking at all the recycling stuff and like those, what they're doing in the ocean, which led me to an article on some mysterious things that have been washing up on the shores of France for the last 30 plus years.
Oh my God, I have that too.
Oh, that's so cool. It's so funny, right?
Yes, tell the people.
Okay, so for since the 1980s, there have been these sightings of parts of the Garfield telephone.
Yes.
So remember those Garfield telephones from the 80s where it's like him crouched down, you pick up his back or something and that's the phone. And pieces of those have been showing up all along the shore and people are like, what the heck? And they've even become a symbol of the need, why we need to recycle and environmental
activism.
I don't know, yes, activism, this symbol. And people could not figure out what the heck it was from. And then finally, I don't know whether they discovered where it was or found the location.
Yeah.
Somebody said they knew what could have happened. A shipping container had gone down during a storm in 1980 and it was full of Garfield phones.
Yes.
That's so funny to me.
That is the best. And the pictures of the phones in the sand.
So funny. Suze, I have them right here to show you.
They're so great because it kind of would be creepy if you were just on the beach and all these Garfields were coming
the weirdest thing.
Right. I love it. And I love that then they found the shipping container. It was in a sea cave. And they're like, oh, here's where they're coming from.
And there were still parts of the phone, more phones in there.
Yeah.
Had they not discovered this mystery, it would have just been washing up for... I just think about how many people didn't get their Garfield phone and it was just abandoned in the shipping container.
Right.
I guess they weren't ordering it online then, but it just didn't make it.
I guess so. It just didn't make it to a particular store or something.
What if there was a wait list at the store and these people are like, my Garfield phone, and they're like, they said it would be here in 2 weeks.
Did you ever have a novelty phone?
Oh, you know what? I wasn't allowed to have a phone.
Oh, why?
My mom was really big on that. I had a friend who had a phone in her bedroom when she was really young, and almost as a protest. My mom was like, this child's parent gives their kids everything they want, and they have, the phone in their room at 5. I can't even believe that. And what else, so my mom was like, no, we're not having phones in the room. And I didn't, it was always the family phone. I'm trying to think, did I ever have a novelty phone? Well, I can remember the phone my friend had, which was a novelty phone. I loved it. I did not have a novelty phone. I only had the family phone. Yep.
Oh, that
and
is
the long ass
sad.
cord. I know. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, tell me what you had.
I had one of those ones that was clear and you could see the parts inside.
Nope, I take it back. I had that one.
Of course we had the same one.
I had that. That's it. And you know what? In my mind, it didn't even register as novelty because it just was sciencey. It's just a phone where you could see the parts. I was thinking lip shaped, or I was thinking of a shape.
I also did eventually have, those ones that are vertical and they sit there and then you hold the one thing up to your ear and then the mouthpiece is on the base, like an old timey.
Oh my God! How
that
funny!
kind?
Yeah, throwback.
Yeah.
Old schooly. Yes,
and it was super cute and I loved it, but it was really not convenient.
Yeah, that seems like one of those where.
That would have been good if I had
though.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Back
real
then.
cute, Suze.
But then eventually,
why did I block that plastic phone? I'm trying to think of which room I had that in, and then because I know I can remember that phone, so I definitely at one point in time had a phone in my room. But I'm wondering if I was an adult when I bought that.
Yeah, you must have been in high school or something.
Yeah, because definitely wasn't when I was a kid because that was foreboding.
Foreboding. Yeah, when they had cords, like you said, excuse me, and you would stretch the cord because you'd want privacy.
Ugh,
and so you try to get the cord to reach wherever you were going to sit. And the cord would end up all mangled.
Oh,
humongous.
I hated that. And then when it would do that twist thing, and then there would be, before I would be able to answer the call, I would have to hold it and then just watch it untwist. And I'm so a little OCD that I just did a lot of I spent a lot of time organizing that cord when I was on phone calls.
Organizing.
Yeah. I had this friend, this guy who was Oh, he was so sweet. He was like, his family had just moved to the United States from Vietnam, and he was really trying hard to make friends, and he was so sweet, and he would call me every day after school, and we would talk on the phone. And my mom would be like, "Oh, Finn's on the phone. Here you go." And I would talk to him, and we would just have our afternoon talks. And, you know, and I just remember sitting there and untangling the cord, and because he just wanted to chat, you know, It was like, you know, and
that's what you'd always do. There would always be a debriefing after the school day. Then you'd talk to somebody. But it's weird how kids don't do that now. They text or whatever only. I mean, I don't blame them. I hate phone calls. But it's just
we only hate them now because we don't have to do it.
Is that why you think?
You didn't hate them when you were before.
No, I didn't hate them when I was a kid.
You loved them.
Yeah, I loved them.
Yeah.
You're one of the only people for whom I will answer the phone.
Oh, you too, sis.
I think there's about maybe 7 people that they'll call, and I'll just pick up.
Yes, I made
How many people would you say you'll answer? Everybody. I've seen you answer unknown even. You're real brave about that.
Well, no, I answer the unknown one because I know that my aunt always calls from an unknown number. For some reason, her home phone is like blocked. So usually when it's unknown, it's definitely my aunt. When it's like a like random number, I won't answer.
Have you seen the new thing that some phone companies are doing where they'll put at the top likely scam or...
Yeah, I downloaded a thing on my phone to do that from Verizon.
Oh, what did you download?
There's like some Verizon app that you can get for it.
I have to do that.
Yeah, and at the top it'll be a red bar that says spam.
And do you get calls that say that?
Yeah. And then it starts to filter them out.
See,
you know, John Oliver just did a whole thing on spam calls. You should watch that. Yeah.
I saw there was an article in New York Mag about end of robocalls and how it's kind of like junk mail when it would come to your house, and now you still get some, but not like you used to. And same with junk email. It now is filtered into that other folder. Mm-hmm. And so I think finally phones are catching up.
Yeah, there's definitely more at play. Like when I saw this thing on John Oliver, I'm like, oh, okay, this is...
Why?
That I can't summarize it because I don't even remember like what the points are, but like well enough to be able to say anything, and like I don't know.
Was it essentially just that it's big business and...
Yeah, kind of like that, but then also just how it affects people and who's responsible and how they're really not doing anything. And and then John Oliver did one of his classic things where the people who are supposed to be passing the laws like aren't doing it. And so he set up spam callers to call them every 5 minutes, like just like they had done to some people. And it's like classic John Oliver, and I love when they do that. But yeah, you just find out and on there he says like some statistic on the percentage of calls that we get that are spam versus not spam, and it's crazy. I didn't even expect it. I want to say it's like 90% or something insane like that of what. And it's like, why is this a thing? Like everybody's terrified to answer their phone now. Like maybe that's why you don't like the phone calls as much, because our first instinct is like, oh, is it one of those fake ones? And
I saw this comedy bit where somebody was talking about how if your phone rings, you like quickly try to get your phone out and look at it, and no matter who it says, we push decline. Like we're desperate to look, and it'll be like, oh, it's my husband, decline.
That's so funny. Yeah, you think we're rushing to get it to answer it, and then we're just rushing to look to have a little bit of power in that moment.
Most of the time, though, when you get a call, don't you think, why didn't they just text me?
No, no, because I think like the friends who call me, like always,
there's more to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. Like I can go through my head of the people who I'm going to like, no, I will answer a phone call from. Like Allie, she and I have been playing phone tag for like 3 weeks. Gosh darn it. Shout out to Allie. No, but like when I see her call, I always want to answer it because I know that we're going to be able to catch up and talk, and she moved to another state, so I'm like really excited to talk to her. And so a lot of times the calls I'll get will just be from friends that I haven't been able to catch up with for a while. And so I really want, you know, given that I'm next to my phone and not like in a session or, you know, something like that, I want to answer and want to talk. So usually people don't just call me to ask a question or, they don't ever call me with something that could be text. Is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
That's the real point I'm making.
I get a lot of those calls, and I'm just like, really? Just text me. Come on. I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That, like, if you grew up with, like, more of, like, the chit-chat on the phone versus...
Doesn't it freak you out? Like, we have a friend, Scooter, who doesn't have a cell phone.
Yep.
And doesn't that kind of freak you out?
It only
you're
freaks
kind of
me out
anti-phone.
because... I am anti-phone, but it only freaks me out because of the industry that I'm in now or business that I'm in now where I have to check my voicemail twice a day. I have to, like, if when the time comes that I have my own practice, I'll have to really be, like, available via phone all the time because if you have a client who's in a crisis and, you have to kind of be able, to be there and not
kind
be
of on
off
call.
the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't do that. I have to always be
that's going to be an
plugged in.
adjustment for you.
I know. Well, I've been I set my alarm and then twice a day my alarm goes off and I check my voicemail then, and it's not I make sure that the boundaries are really clear with my clients about when they know I'm going to check it, when to leave a voicemail, blah blah blah. So yeah.
Yeah.
They teach you all that stuff and you slowly learn it. So
Oh, poor Sarah.
not poor Sarah.
P.S. I forgot to tell you, how about how, we've talked about on the show about cilantro and how some of us have that gene that makes it gross.
Yes.
Did you know that there's a similar thing with cucumber?
No.
Some people think cucumbers are disgusing.
But they're delicious and refreshing.
Right?
I need to meet a cucumber, somebody who's anti-cucumber.
Apparently it's the same thing where there's a recessive gene that for them makes cucumbers essentially inedible. And often, though, those same people are fine with pickles, which seems counterintuitive.
But that's the same way that you're fine with it if it's crushed up.
If it's in salsa, yeah.
It's because it's been like that. Oh, cool. Something else for me to research.
I just can't imagine hating cucumbers.
Me neither. But I couldn't imagine hating cilantro.
Right.
So, interesting.
It's really gross for them. So, solidarity.
Also, follow up. I asked Landon about wasabi.
What did he say?
We did not have any in the house at the time. Okay. But he told me that basically a lot of the same things you said, like the stuff that we're eating is not the real wasabi, and that wasabi grows at the rate of 1 inch a year. And he said it looks kind of like if you were to marry, like a pineapple and a carrot got together and had a baby. So kind of like what you said, that's what it looks like. And that originally what it's used for in Japan, like they have a lot of tradition, of course, and a lot of like ritual around how to prepare it, things like that. And to grate it, it's grated on shark skin. Like they take shark skin and they use shark skin to grate it. And I asked him like, well, what's like the purpose? Like what do they use it for? And he said the reason why it's eaten with sushi is because it's antibacterial.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
And he's like, there you go. Wealth of knowledge over here. I know everything about I'm like, I knew you were going to know all about this.
That's really cool.
It's antibacterial. So if there is like the fish has anything in it that it like works to, it makes sense if you're eating raw fish.
Because in the video it did say that science shows that it does fight against cancer and helps general health. So I'm sure that you're right.
Yeah.
That's how it became. Wonder why ginger got involved, though.
Oh,
the ginger.
Good question. Yeah.
I know it's
I think that was just.
Cleanser, but...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's something like that.
Well, we've really made a lot of progress on our.
Yes.
Wasabi.
Fun episode. Just love it.
Investigation. I mean, how could it be bad when you started with the history of the high five?
That is correct.
You're making days over here.
And also when this airs, I think will be the week of National High Five Day.
No.
It's the third week of April.
Oh, my God.
January, March, April. Yeah, it's going to be that time. So I also timed it well. You're welcome.
Wait, what is involved in this celebration, though?
Okay, so I think it's the University of Virginia is where this got started, where they set up a booth where they sold like lemonade and high fives and like raised money for charity. And so now it's like a thing where they like go around to I don't know. It's something for. It's almost like a high five-a-thon. And
That is really cute.
So it started there, and then it just became like a thing.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, happy
so
high
celebrate.
five
High five
week
to you,
today.
Suze.
High five to you. We'll be high fiving.
Yes, we will.
To celebrate, and we'll.
And if you're going to high
you.
five, make sure to look at the elbow. That's how you can guarantee contact.
Why do people say that?
Because it works. Do it. Test it. We'll test it and get a video for you and make sure you can see. We'll do it with and without some experiments.
All right, everybody. We'll high five you if you leave us a review and make it a good one.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.